All right, I'm Paul. This is Jeremy.
Again.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about It Chapter 2. And if you like hearing me rip apart things that you're gonna like, click the subscribe button. I have some things to say about this movie, so I'm gonna try and get it all out of the way
Go ahead.
right up front. I read that book 4 times that I know of for sure. Four.
Okay.
For sure. Like, there's probably 2 or 3 more times that I read that book that are like a little fuzzy. Like I can't nail those down. Like that definitely happened.
Yeah.
But as far as Stephen King books go, yeah, definitely top 3,
All right.
for sure. And it was so slavishly faithful in the first part. They changed one thing, and I rewatched the first part just to see how I felt about that again, because the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, they took Mike's parts and they gave them to Ben, like as far as being town historian.
Okay. Yeah.
But when I watched it again, it's like, yeah, they gave it to Ben because they hadn't quite brought Mike into the fold yet. And as soon as Mike was in the fold, it actually kind of like almost seamlessly goes to the point where Mike is the guy talking about the history. And it goes into this movie too. Like, it makes sense that he
Yeah.
should be the one. He's the one that stays in town. He's
Yeah.
the one that knows all the stuff.
Yep.
But I guess for length in the first one, maybe, or like they decided to change that up a little bit. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, the scares are different. That's fine.
They
Like,
are.
otherwise, it's gonna be totally predictable and boring. Like, that's fine. How you fight the monster changing, that's fine too. This movie is missing 2 characters and an epic ending. That, I mean, I don't want to get too spoilery about this one, but early on, there's a lot of folks saying they don't like the ending of,
Yeah.
of Bill Denborough's books.
Yeah. That was part of the movie. Yeah.
I really hope that that's not true. That
Yeah.
the folks that are involved with making this movie did not care for the original ending and decided they wanted to mix it up.
So,
But,
so we talked about this a little bit before we watched it.
yeah,
And you even said that you wanted an ending more true to the book,
I mean,
or else you were going to feel let down or disappointed.
yeah, it was.
And how do you feel?
Disappointed, man. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes
Yeah.
long. It's 3:45 in the morning right now.
Yeah.
And I can't. I don't know how they managed to stretch that movie out that long and not include the most important parts. I mean, it didn't drag for me,
I agree.
but once I knew that it definitely wasn't gonna happen,
Did you lose interest or?
a little bit.
Did you?
Like, a little bit. It started to come down pretty fast for me. I was holding out hope for a minute because there was some storm noises.
Mhm.
I mean, it's however old this book is at this point, like 30 years or so, if not longer. Like, the book ends with the town of Derry is such a character in and of itself. It's a place where everybody that lives there gets manipulated. Everybody in that town is a victim. Everybody, even the oppressor types, like they're all just succumbing to the sickness that lives underneath this place, the sickness that is epitomized by this place. And in the book, there's a storm, and it floods, and the town is destroyed, and the Paul Bunyan statue comes down, the standpipe explodes, and
And that's more of a definitive ending for you.
I mean, oh yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
I
mean,
get it. Why wouldn't it be? I understand.
They come out of the sunny skies on the end of this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just me being like really wanting it to be the same, but I don't understand at all what they were thinking because again they stuck so close to it for so long.
Yeah.
That
So I'm starting to get the feeling or the idea that you didn't like it. Do you not like it? Do you just feel betrayed?
as
or?
an adaptation, absolutely not. No, it gets an F. Like,
Okay.
It totally fails. I mean, do you know that Bill is married?
No.
No, she is in this movie for like a
Okay.
second. Bill, honey, do you have the lines?
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Oh yeah. That's
this
right.
Is my,
that's right.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
my wife, Audra.
Yeah.
No, like I mean, she in the book she comes to town. Like
Okay.
Bill disappears, and also Beverly's husband
Mm-hmm.
comes looking to town too.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so there's your two missing characters along with your missing ending, and
All right.
she
So-
she gets kidnapped by the clown. She's down there. He's got it. Like that's another reason to go after her. Oh man, let's not even talk about the fact that like the bike scene isn't in there. He buys the bike.
Which is the
Which is-
specific scene that you told me before we watched this that you wanted to see.
It's so good. Like I don't know how. And
God, I don't know if you're more hurt about this or with Sony and Marvel. I mean, like you're.
Geez. It's been a bad month now. It's a bad month now.
Okay, so, I mean, you weren't a big fan of it as an adaptation. What about just?
I mean, I don't even
As the
know.
movie.
I don't know how. I can't look at it any other way.
I get it.
can't. I mean, I'm never gonna be able to sit down and watch this and even figure out like. When I was rewatching the first part, I was seriously wondering, does this work on its own? Like, do you? Because they put so much in there, like that you have to know, like.
Well, the first one was great. I don't think anybody would argue that the first one wasn't good. I liked it a lot.
My only issues with the first one were they took Mike's stuff and they gave it to Ben. And the first time I saw that, I was like, why are you guys
Okay.
not? But I kind of figured it out. And then the only other issue I've got with it was it really fast went from, okay, we just got together to let's all go kill the monster. But that was it. Other than that, I was like, wow, this is, and again, I just rewatched it. Very faithful adaptation. It made me think that I was going to get that again, and that I was going to see something really good.
And you don't think the second one compares to the first one? An adaptation and or just
as far as quality, it's hard
quality,
to tell
yeah.
because they as soon as they took when I thought that they were just going to keep going there the whole time, it wasn't until like the last 45 minutes, but that's what is that, a third? Is that less than a third of this movie?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like almost a quarter of this movie.
Yeah.
Up until the last quarter of this movie, I thought that it would be the same, and that would do it. But and they were so good still, like because even the things that they left out of the first one, they managed to continue to streamline them in this one in a really impressive way. You guys left out this whole scene in the first one. It's kind of a big deal. You really quickly, without taking up a lot of time, brought it right into this one. Little change, still worked. But I don't know.
But
they just ran away.
feel let
They just
down.
ran away from that from the ending completely. I mean, it definitely doesn't have anywhere near as
Okay.
much punch.
See, I mean, I don't know how we're still friends anymore because I liked it. I think almost everyone other than Ready or Not, we've kind of split
Really? Is that how it's going?
Yeah,
I guess that
yeah.
is how it's going.
No, I enjoyed this one. Now, I enjoyed this one. You're right. The scares are different. It's definitely, I think it has a different feel to it. But it still wasn't bad by any means. I couldn't tell you how long ago I've read the book. So there's a lot that I just don't even remember about it to compare it to the book, to be quite honest. And maybe that's why I don't feel as let down.
So, in the book, Audra comes to town because she's worried about Bill because he just up and disappears on a promise he made when he was 13 years old or however old these kids are, and Pennywise gets her, does the deadlights thing. Even after they beat him, she's like comatose, and the last bit of the book is like Bill trying to recapture this childhood magic. There's a kid that tells him you can't be careful on a skateboard, man, and like he's trying to recapture that feeling. So like he takes his bike and he rides down like the steepest hill in town towards this open chasm, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
From the flooding and the damage at the end of this book, and it's just and it's that that carefree abandon of being a kid.
Nothing's gonna hurt me.
He like that brings her back, and she's not even in this movie. She's not even in this movie.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry you feel hurt and disappointed by it.
They digitally de-aged those kids. Did you know that too? Since it's been like 2 years since they filmed the first one.
Really?
And the Stranger Things kid, is that Finn Wolfhard in this movie? I don't know all their names. But like the Stranger Things kid plays young Richie, and especially with those glasses, it's like Henry Cavill's mustache in Justice League for me. Like it looks so fake. Like
You just couldn't get into it.
No.
Oh man, that's a shame. Like I said, I liked it. I didn't think it was bad. It was a good continuation of a story that we know, and I think probably a lot of us grew up with. I remember the first It, scaring the crap out of me, and
yeah, I don't think they did the flood in the TV movie either.
No, I don't recall the flood
because the every 27-year cycle would, again, if I recall correctly, would start off with like a fairly minor incident and end with like a big one. Like there was an ironworks explosion.
They even touched on that in the first movie, though.
Yeah.
About highlighting some of the disasters around Derry and the old book, stuff like that. But I don't know. Like I said, I liked it. I thought it was good.
I'm glad. I hope.
Sorry you were let down.
If folks want to tell me that I'm stupid, they can come up and do that. Gladly, I'll take it. I would love to hear if folks that have no familiarity with anything else think this works on its own.
Whether it works on its own, or how about those who are like you, that want it to be more true to the book, and obviously you disagree with that. What do you think about how they ended this one? I'd like to see some of those comments as well.
I can't imagine that any of those people will be happy.
No, I mean, I think there's people that are true to the book, obviously want it to be true to the book, but as a movie, are they happy with the way that it ended up? I think most, I don't want to go as bold as saying most, but I think a lot of obvious book adaptations tend to take a lot more liberties in Hollywood anymore. So did this work if you were such a big fan of the book?
I'm okay with liberties, but like to be so faithful for, if you wanna call parts 1 and 2 one thing, like to be so faithful for 90% of your movie, just to forget about it for the last 10. after planting some subtle hints throughout.
Oh my God, you're
where
way
everybody-
too jaded about
everybody
this.
jokes about
You
don't
are-
like the ending. How do you get him to say he doesn't like the ending? I hope that's not true. I hope that's not
No.
that's not a real thing. I mean, all right. Thanks
I
for
don't know.
watching.
Let us know what
I'm
you
gonna
think.
go cry, and I'll see you when you come see this movie probably.
Yeah.
Thanks.